Hello everyone, my name is Jamarl Thomas, I'm your host, and of course, this is the Progressive Soapbox. This video is going to be relatively quick. I just wanted to give a heads up on some of the polling that is taking place in the UK. I tend to follow UK politics, of course. At least right now, as everyone in the UK knows who I am, he's being far too kind. But in this case, I find this to be extremely interesting due to what's taking place in regards to Brexit. Britain saying they are, going to leave the European Union. Up to this point, we have no idea. That said, what we do have is a public that is extraordinarily angry with the political edifice that seems, in many respects, have betrayed them, either in the case of trying to leave the European Union or in the case of not leaving the European Union. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. In this very particular case, you guys know that my horse in this case is Jeremy Corbyn. Now, why are they talking about a European election? European elections are, an election that's not supposed to take place for several years. Well, the reason they're talking about it is because the government is in complete and utter chaos. And with a government that's in this much utter chaos, we have no idea when Theresa May is leaving. We do know that somebody else is supposed to be taking her spot. We do know that she's off her head. We have no idea what Brexit process is going to be. They're supposed to have left Europe back in March. This has been postponed all the way out until October. Nobody knows what is going to take place. Theresa May's Brexit can't get through. Nothing else that is put up to this point has had the ability to get through. And Theresa May is still going with these notion of red lines. Right now, there's conversations going on between the Labour Party and Theresa May to try to get some kind of deal forged. But up to this point, Jeremy Corbyn has no incentive in the world to help Theresa May get out of a mess that was caused entirely by the Tories. I may have taken my shot at Corbyn because I think he's fist-sitting, which he is, but it seems like this political strategy is paying off. Right now, if the election was held today, and there have been multiple polls attesting to this, which is why these guys are coming out with this, the Tory party is on course to lose 59 seats in the event of a general election. This is polling over multiple days that have come up with the same conclusion. If the election was held today, Jeremy Corbyn would crush. Let's take a look at the article itself. The article is short. And like I said, I'm going to keep this one short myself because I have other weightier things that we need to talk about. Jeremy Corbyn is on course to become prime minister as support among the Conservative Party plummets. Labour could capitalize on the Brexit delay to sweep into power, with the Tories set to lose 59 seats in the event of a general election, according to electoral calculus research for the Sunday Telegraph. The analysis is the latest in a clutch of surveys which point to a collapse of the Conservative vote, with two other polls this weekend putting the support for the party at the lowest in 5 years. They're supposed to be having a European election. What you're seeing in the background, Jeremy Corbyn, this is this kind of launch of a European election. The election that nobody thought was going to take place and everyone is disheveled and unprepared for. The party, however, that is set to capitalize off of this, it's not Labour, it's the Brexit party. And we're talking about European elections. But those European elections, to some degree, transfer or have a direct relation to the angst and the anger that the public has about what they consider to be either a betrayal or just outright incompetence. Labour can capitalize off it. Yes. Other smaller parties also, but Labour being the second party has the largest potential to capitalize off of it. The analysis is the latest in a cluster, right? The electoral calculus poll of polls carried out between the 2nd and the 3rd and 11th of April indicated Labour will become the largest party in Commons with 296 seats to Conservatives, 259. That's a thin margin. That's a thin margin. But it's a margin. That's a margin. It's like Chicago beat the Lakers at that game. There's very few people who may remember there was only 1 point. What matters is they won. In this case, that would be a Prime Minister, Jeremy Corbyn. Now, what incentive does that Jeremy Corbyn have in helping the Conservative Party fix Brexit? Not just fix Brexit, but also fix it in a way that would allow the Tories to remain in power. Zero. These guys are saying they're having talks today in regards to having Brexit. And I agree with you that there's a statesman quality to this where you would hope that the person will be above politics. But being above politics in an odd way is also trying to get the premiership if you believe that you are the best person to navigate Britain out of this quagmire. Clearly, Corbyn does. And if I'm being honest, so do I. So, Jeremy Corbyn is on pace to become the next Prime Minister of the UK, providing an election is taking place. And by the way, this is not just the polling that believes this. This is also the Tory party. Do you remember, and I'll leave it here, do you remember when Theresa May was trying to get a Brexit deal through? And she had gotten to the point of threatening the opposition with a general election. Do you remember this? It's like, vote for my withdrawal bill or else I have no other recourse but to call a general election, in which case the Tories said no. And they refused it. They wouldn't allow her to even get to that point of doing it because they knew what was going to take place. She was using the Armageddon of the Tory party itself as leverage to try to get that exact same Tory party to pass a deal that they didn't want to pass. She knew. The polling is just giving an indication of what they already know. The election was held today. One Jeremy Corbyn will take a seat. And now we have evidence to back that up that goes beyond just kind of the feeling of it. For that matter, look at the European Union elections. Look at the local elections. These guys are getting decimated. And the moment that they have a poll on, you could say, the federal level, it would also be espoused in artifice itself. I have two super chats. One came from Donald Sneed. Thank you for covering this. Donald, thank you for helping the content or helping the channel. And the other one came from Can't Prosecute Harris. Wait, are you telling me that Can't Prosecute Harris doesn't understand something that should be fighting for? No way. Now, the reason why he calls her Can't Prosecute Harris is because she didn't prosecute Steve Mnuchin. And then Mnuchin, the one that Donald Trump put in, I think, as his Treasury Secretary, turns around and gives her a campaign donation, which makes it look that much worse. All right, I'm going to end this here because I have one more other smaller story. But then there are larger stories that we need to talk about dealing with issues of war, particularly with this brinksmanship taking place between Bolton, Trump, going after Iran. I'll end this here. If you guys enjoyed this content, you find yourself coming back here often, please consider liking, sharing, and of course, you can always support it through PayPal or Patreon. Thanks, everyone.